All right, we're joined here by Timbers coach Dave Vandenberg. We'll just get started right with questions.
Dave, Phil suspended for this game. Is there a little bit of irony in you assuming the interim head coach role with Bruce Arena on the opposite sideline?
I guess you could get to that, yeah. To be fair, I wish that Phil wouldn't have gotten suspended. Got suspended for saying something about our own player, and they misunderstood, misheard, and so it's a little bit of a joke in my book. But we couldn't appeal the yellow card as you can in the league. But as such, it is kind of ironic that's the matchup that is up.
And then Zach McGraw back on the training pitch today. Just how has he been dealing with that back injury, and do you have a timeline for that as to how he's progressing?
There is no timeline, unfortunately. It's just a matter of how the muscles around that disc area are responding. I can't put a timeline. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, and even they can't really put a timeline on it. He's taking small steps. He's back on the field now, as you said, and so we're hopeful that we get him back here in the short term.
Hey, Dave, just curious, how does your preparation change, if at all, in the situation where Phil's going to be out?
No, not at all, to be fair. Phil is obviously still coaching the team on a daily basis. He'll be in the locker room during the pregame talk. It'll just be on the sideline and at halftime. The good part about having worked with Phil for the past year and a half and with the same staff for the past year and a half, we know what we want out of the players. We know what to expect out of a game. I know what to expect every halftime I come in, and so nothing changes for the boys. It'll just be a different voice. It'll be Dutch instead of English.
Hey, Dave. Guillermo Mota with K2 News. I have two questions. First, and I hate to put you on the spot, do you have a status or an update on Jonathan Rodriguez?
Well, I think everybody kind of heard the announcement on the Apple broadcast last Sunday. It doesn't look great for Jonah this season. We haven't had an official report out yet, but it'll be a miracle if we see Jonah back on the field this season.
And then last question from my end. From the lesson from the last two matches against the Earthquakes, what are some things that you're seeing out there that you want to do different in this matchup?
Well, first off, they scored 5 goals in 2 games against us, and we gave up a couple more opportunities. So we need to be better on the defensive side for sure. But then on the flip side, we created quite a few opportunities, and the scoreline might not have reflected that just because we only scored 1 goal in 2 games. But again, I think we created plenty of opportunities to take more advantage of those opportunities. And so if we take our chances this game, I have a good feeling about it, and that we can beat this team now. And especially at home, it'll be a different atmosphere. It'll be a different game with the TA right there on a Friday night. I think it'll be bouncing, and so it'll be good for us.
We have Jimmer coming in to talk after you. What's it been like working with him this year, and is there anything that we should press him on?
Oh, it's been an absolute joy to work with the guy. I mean, first off, the qualities on the field are there for everybody to see, right? He's taken that spot and made it his, and he has helped our defense tremendously. And as a result, I think our entire defense has played really well with Finn, with Kamal, with Juan Mosquera. And off the field, he's an absolute marvel of a human being. He's just every day he's smiling, he's laughing. He loves what he does, which is great. He loves to get better. He wants to work hard every day on his craft, and that's it's infectious, right? Other people are now taking notice, and it's great to have these types of people, let alone soccer players.
Profe, en español le puedo preguntar una. Sí, una en español, como dije anteriormente, sobre Jonathan Rodríguez, y qué va a pasar con él. Toda la gente, la afición está esperando una respuesta sobre su situación. Y la otra sería, ¿qué van a hacer diferente en esta ocasión contra San José? Los goleó allá en San José y después los eliminaron en la Copa. ¿Qué hay que hacer diferente?
You want me to respond in Spanish or in English?
Español.
Okay. Bueno, sobre el tema de Jonathan Rodríguez, ¿en qué está buscando una otra opinión de un doctor y entonces no lo sabemos todavía cómo va a pasar este año con él. Le deseamos todo lo mejor y deseamos que pueda regresar lo antes que posible. Lo peor de todo este caso es que no sabemos mucho de lo que están pasando ahí con los doctores y lo que están pensando ellos y yo nada más, porque si quiero una operación, si no, entonces tenemos que esperar. Sobre el tema de los dos partidos contra San José, tenemos que discutir un poquito mejor. ¿Por qué? Porque encajamos 5 goles, pero encajamos 3 goles en 10 minutos, me imagino que fueran 11 minutos, si estoy recordando bien, pero si nosotros podemos jugar un poquito mejor en el ataque y sobre todo terminar las oportunidades que tuvimos en los dos partidos que jugamos ahí, vamos a ganar el partido. Y la cosa no sería muy diferente de los últimos 2 partidos. ¿Por qué? Porque ellos juegan un estilo que es hombre a hombre, que es difícil, que es muy intenso, pero nosotros ya estamos acostumbrados a eso y ya estamos en nuestro campo y creo que vamos a ver un partido diferente acá en casa. Gracias.
Just a quick question about the data side of the game. So, Phil said before he's not a big believer in expected goals, but are there any advanced metrics or just other advanced stats that the coaching staff and the backroom staff look at that they use as key performance indicators?
We usually like the scoreboard a whole lot. There are some key metrics that we're looking at, but it's all within the context of the game. Some games we run more than the other team, but we lose. So what does that tell you? Maybe we didn't have the ball as much. Some games we run more and we win. What does that tell you? I don't know. It's all within the context of the game. So there are things that we're looking at, but do they always tell the whole story? No, they do not. Expected goals last game, I believe St. Louis had more than us. And if you look at the second half, I think we fully deserved to win that game. Now, they had the 2 big chances in the first half, obviously, off the turnover that we had where Jimmy Pantelis came up so big. And I'm assuming that those chances were high expected goals. But at the end of the day, it's Anthony with a moment of brilliance that puts the ball in the back of the net. I'm assuming the expected goal on that is not as high, but we've seen him do that time and time again this season, past season. I remember the goal first game of the season last year in Colorado. He probably bent it in the same exact spot. And so that's not an anomaly at this point in time. So yeah, we can look at data, and we do, obviously. And we have Connor Ceballos who does a great job with it, but it doesn't always tell the complete story of the game.
Okay, we have one last question online from Aaron Heinzen on our radio team. Can you get this? Aaron, go ahead.
Jimmer, for a question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Okay. Jimmer, has he played San Jose yet? What do you see his role defending Christian Espinoza and also getting forward in the game? Thanks.
Well, Christian Espinoza being one of their more influential players, he's going to have a big job defensively, obviously. Having said that, he has basically shut down every forward he's faced this season when he's played, and so we're fully confident that he's going to negate that threat. And on the flip side, we're going to ask him this game, and just like in any other game, to join in the attack when he can. The good thing is he's got a really good forward in front of him with Anthony, and so that can be a pretty dynamic partnership in this game. Anthony, obviously, with his runs forward, that might create a little bit of space for Jimmer, but he's gonna have to play a big part first and foremost defensively, and then from our defenders, if they can incorporate themselves into the attack, great. But first and foremost, we need to stop the bleeding against San Jose. We conceded 5 goals in 2 games. We need to make sure that we don't concede.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thanks for the time, Coach.